Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks so much for joining us here on KXAN Live. I'm Will Dupree, coming to you from the KXAN Live studio in Austin. We appreciate you being here with us this afternoon. And this week, many of your kids out there are likely starting school. So many districts are having their first days of school this week, and really a conversation that's coming up a lot is about a problem that many school districts are dealing with right now. And that, of course, is talking about the number of teacher resignations. So many districts are working to fill openings because of a record number of those teachers leaving the profession in Texas. And this week, a new web story went up live on KXAN.com looking into what's driving the teacher shortage. Here it is right here. It's called The Exit. And this afternoon, two of the reporters who helped bring this project to all of us are joining us now for a conversation. So let's welcome in KXAN investigator Kelly Wiley and data digital reporter Christopher Adams. Thank you both, Kelly and Christopher, for being here. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be here.
It is always a good day when either of you are here, and now I get the both of you, so it's a real treat. All right, well, Kelly, I just want to start off with everything because this story, as soon as it went live on our website, it really touched a nerve with people because it started trending and it's gotten thousands upon thousands of page views at this point, which really tipped the hat to you for that. But what is the reaction that you're getting to this story since it went up live?
It's been really good to see people connecting with it, and not just teachers, but also parents, people who just generally care about their neighbors here in Texas. But I think the strongest reaction has been from teachers who are reaching out to say, one, thank you for kind of highlighting this, but also to add on to what we found as reasons. Just like any job, everybody has personal things that drive why they leave. There just happen to be a lot of trends in what's happening in education in Texas and across the country. But I would say the strongest reaction has just been hearing from parents, students, teachers, echoing what we found in our report.
Yeah, we hear so much about this particular topic, so I'm wondering if you could also speak on, Kelly, the idea where this story came from and led you into all this reporting for this project.
So here at KXAN, we do a lot of tip-driven reporting. We use our Report It tool a lot when people email into us. And so a long time ago, well, a couple of months ago, we started doing a report on one particular teacher who'd left. And as a part of our vetting process, we always ask, hey, can you send something to help vet that you were a teacher and that you did leave? And the document that that I received was a contract abandonment form. And the way that I've always been taught in journalism is where there's a form, there's data. And so we started requesting these contract abandonment forms from school districts in our area, from the largest school districts in Texas. And it was incredibly informative. It was very personal reasons that these teachers were giving. We typically don't get access to teachers because they're working hard and they're in the classroom, and we'll usually hear from a superintendent or the state. And these contract abandonment forms were heartbreaking. These teachers were saying in no uncertain terms exactly what was driving them out, and it usually centered around not being able to pay their bills or being stressed mentally.
Well, it's really interesting to see, again, those reasonings for why these teachers are leaving their jobs. But Christopher, you also help with this project in figuring out what other districts are doing and how they track some of this information. So what do we find out in that regard?
Yes, like Kelly said, we requested these forms from the top 10 largest districts in the state and also several here in Central Texas. The issue, or one of the issues that we ran into, is that not every district is tracking this the same as every other district. Some, in fact, are not tracking this whatsoever. And so we had to come up with some kind of common themes and categories that we were seeing from district to district to be able to compare between the two.
Yeah, I mean, it is incredibly fascinating to look at, but we're going to take a few moments to see the first part of your investigation that aired last night, Kelly, and then we're going to continue our conversation. So please stay with us as we continue talking about teacher resignations in Texas, but we'll see you back here on the other side.
It is now my honor to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2022.
Between the start of her senior year and her graduation, 3 of Alyssa Billspiro's favorite teachers quit. With Austin ISD superintendent sitting right behind her, Alyssa pulled out an unapproved version of her speech.
Teachers are the heart and soul of our schools, and it's time the state and district started treating them with the respect and dignity that they deserve.
Alyssa went to McCallum High School, a performing arts magnet in Central Austin. Teachers we talked to say they love the school and students. Still, records showed during the pandemic, more teachers left this campus mid-school year than almost any other in AISD.
I'm Allison Cashton. I was the head of choral activities at McCallum High School.
Allison Cashton left McCallum in April 2021. She resigned just after having a baby when she says she found out district policy would not allow her to continue teaching virtually.
The facilities are a mess. I would teach when I was pregnant weekly in a class that was 85 degrees with no air circulation. And so then to trust that when they say, come back, even in a pandemic, the air will be fine, it will be safe. To trust that and to trust my safety and my family's safety and my students' safety, it was just kind of the last straw. And I just didn't want to put up with it, especially for the pay. It's not livable.
This past school year, more than 1,000 AISD teachers retired or resigned, 30% more than the previous school year. Statewide, districts saw a similar surge in teachers leaving the profession. At McCallum alone, teachers wrote in their exit surveys that they resigned for a better work-life balance, higher pay, and jobs outside of education. One teacher wrote she resigned because she was driving more than 2.5 hours to the campus. Nicole Griffith is the principal of McCallum High School.
We see more and more teachers that live outside of the district. And I think that happens in many communities around the state and country where teachers can't afford to live in that community they serve. And I wish I could solve that problem. It just makes me feel sad.
At many Texas schools, teachers resigning in the middle of the school year led to other problems. Larger class sizes, core classes with long-term substitutes.
I had my biology teacher quit halfway through the year, and so for about 6 weeks I had a sub, and I would pretty much just sit in class in my AP biology class for a few weeks and just not really do anything because I didn't really have the resources to do anything.
The principal of McCallum says at one point they were so low on substitutes at a time when teachers were not just resigning but also calling out sick that they pulled multiple classes into the cafeteria for lessons.
It causes this huge ripple effect. The ripple effect that I'm talking about happens in the entire school building because permanent subs can't do everything that we ask teachers to do. So the team of teachers that teacher was on takes a whole lot of the load.
Cashton doesn't think she'll teach again. She says the decision to leave was ultimately right for her family. But the most difficult day of teaching was when she had to say goodbye.
It was just such a hard decision, and I care about them so much. And so I knew that it was what I needed to do, but I didn't want them to feel that I didn't care about them. And so it was really hard. And as teachers, we often kind of put what we need aside to be the selfless ones, to give all that we have for our students. So to kind of have that moment of, this is what I need for my family, this is what I need for me, isn't totally who I am, because I'm a teacher, we give. So that was really hard.
We are back now with Kelly Wiley and Christopher Adams. And Kelly, just wonderful storytelling there. And really what speaks to me is that last soundbite there is how emotional she was to say goodbye to her students and leave the profession that she really loved.
They were all like that. All the teachers that I talked to, every time I said at the end, how do you feel about leaving the students? Or maybe I'd ask, what was your worst day of teaching? They would all get very emotional. These are not, none of them were like, whatever, forget those kids. Like, they deeply care. They've gotten into the profession because they really enjoy children and they really enjoy teaching and engaging. Some of the teachers that I talked to actually were in different professions before they became teachers, but they maybe got a taste of it and then said, oh, I'm really interested in this. And so for all of them, they really struggled with that. They felt a lot of guilt around it. But again, these were very personal decisions that they were making.
It definitely comes across that way for sure. In addition to this really wonderful video storytelling, there are so many interactive elements that people can check out whenever they go and look at our investigative series that you see right here on KXAN.com. But I just want to highlight some of the charts that Christopher, you helped make, and go through some of them. So as you can see, here's one chart that you can find in the story there. It really shows the spike in retirements and resignations in this last school year, but let's look at this one in particular. There's a lot of charts here, everybody, and you can look at them and scroll across them in the web story right now and look at some of the numbers specifically, but this one broke down the reasons for teacher resignations after collecting information from a number of different districts. To both you, Christopher, and Kelly, what stands out to you as you were putting these together?
I think for me, the main reason that we were seeing across multiple districts was were teachers leaving for other employment, with whether that's a different district, they're just simply becoming a teacher somewhere else, or they're getting out of education completely. I think in every single district that we surveyed, other employment was the #1 reason that we were seeing.
What I take away from this is kind of like the story behind the data, because he's so right when he's saying it's kind of this two different camps. There are teachers who are leaving because they want to make more money and they want to change their career completely. There were a lot of people, especially in Austin, who are leaving to go do something with tech, or that's a growing industry in Austin. And it's also one that pays considerably more than what they make as teachers. And a lot of them have a lot of different skills that they're already using as teachers that are, transferable. But then there's this other camp that we could see in the data that are leaving for just more competitive pay somewhere else. Or, for instance, you saw the principal there talking about a lot of teachers are not able to afford homes in Austin where they teach for Austin ISD. So maybe they live in Hayes, maybe they live somewhere a little further out, and teaching opportunities come up in Hayes CISD, and they take those opportunities because the commute is shorter, and it may be that they could get like a little bit more of a bump in pay. So it was kind of those two camps. Not everybody is totally leaving education. A lot are, but some of them are just being lost to a district that's paying a little bit more, or where the area is more affordable. And we're hearing that too from the school officials that are in those districts, that the more people push out for affordable housing, the better their staffing numbers get.
Well, Christopher, and you might explain this in just a second too, but I really want to ask you how you went about collecting this data, compiling it, and then putting together these really interactive charts that you could find in the story.
Yeah, so like we said a little earlier, we requested this data from the top 10 largest school districts in Texas, as well as several districts here in our part of the state. The issue is not every district tracks this the same way. Houston ISD, for example, the largest in the state, they have almost 200,000 students. On their exit survey forms that they have teachers fill out when they leave, they don't have to put a reason whatsoever, and so we weren't able to see why teachers were leaving that district. Other districts, like Austin, for example, Austin ISD, they have a breakdown, a checklist, if you will, where teachers can check off multiple reasons to really give an overview. So even if for example, the COVID-19 pandemic was not their #1 reason for leaving, they could still check that box and say this, this was part of the reason. It was part of an overall bigger picture here that made me want to leave. Other districts that we got data from, the teachers really could only give one answer, and so that's where we started to see the things like other employment, family reasons, things like that pop up more often.
I did want to highlight this other incredibly amazing graphic that you all put together for the story, and it's this showing this map of where the starting salaries are for this new school year. And I'm curious, Christopher, what stood out to you in that? Was the number higher that you're seeing this school year? I mean, where does that fall?
Yeah, so most districts in our viewing area did increase pay, really anywhere from about 2%. Austin ISD was a 2% increase for teacher starting salaries, to as much as 10+% in some of the outlying districts. Liberty Hill, Jarrell ISD, I believe, they really bumped that pay up. What stood out to me, though, was the disparity in starting pay. So what we're looking at here is the absolute starting pay for a teacher with no experience. So these are brand new to the profession. There's a $20,000 difference between the lowest paying districts and the highest paying districts in Central Texas, which is, it's a significant amount. So there are 3 districts in our viewing area that pay the absolute state minimum. That's $33,660 per year. Those districts are out in the Hill Country. They're rural. Lomita ISD, Mason ISD, and Richland Springs ISD, really on the fringes of our viewing area. Again, they pay just less than $34,000 a year, and that is the state minimum set by the Texas legislature. Compare that to some of the more metropolitan districts, places like Mena, Del Valle, Dripping Springs. All of those pay more than $53,000 per year. So a $20,000 difference between the lowest paying districts and the highest paying districts here, just in our area.
I mean, that is the truly amazing part of this project, is how much depth you all put out there and how deep you dug to find out some of this reasoning, because a lot of people are wondering about this and seeing the effect that it's having on their school districts. Kelly, I'm wondering though, as you were reporting this project, obviously you're mindful of what solutions there are to address some of these shortages and teachers leaving the profession. What stood out to you while you were going kind of down that avenue?
Well, I think the main thing is no one is in disagreement that it's a problem. So, the lawmakers, folks with TEA, teachers, the administrators, they're all aware and very concerned that this is a problem. But what's interesting is the school year has arrived quicker than the solutions for a number of reasons, right? The Texas legislature won't convene until January. So all these solutions that are being discussed, for instance, like in the teacher vacancy task force, have not quite come into fruition. Some of the things on the district level that they can do, right, like raising pay, providing stipends and bonuses for special education teachers and teachers they need in hard to staff areas, those things are starting to roll out, but this is multi-layered. Lawmakers have things that they will have to consider and that only they can change. On the state level, the TEA is trying to provide some recommendations. So what I will say, and you'll see in our reporting, is that everyone's working on it. What will be really interesting is what comes out of it. There's one thing that I heard a teacher say that was really striking to me, and they said they're going to have to do something because we're in a teacher shortage. They need people, certified teachers in the classroom. The question will be, will they do just enough to get it back on track, or will they actually start to do some of the more radical reforms that we're hearing teachers talk about?
Kelly, you mentioned that task force that the state has put together to look into this very issue. When are they expected to bring forward some solutions or recommendations about moving forward?
The TEA says they will provide a report of recommendations in February. So we'll be past Christmas break before we see that.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how districts adjust to make sure that this year they're not having long-term substitutes in the classroom for a really long time, making sure that they have certified teachers to keep students on track the way they want to.
Joining us throughout this afternoon has been KXAN investigator Kelly Wiley and our digital data reporter Christopher Adams, who have both worked incredibly long hours on this really comprehensive project that went up live on our website, KXAN.com. Before we let you go, though, I want to ask about what's coming up. What are we going to expect tonight if they were to tune in on KXAN News this evening?
So tonight, teacher pay is what's in the focus for us. You'll get to hear some more context, again, behind the data that Christopher worked so hard to collect for us. You'll get to hear from teachers who are struggling and who have been struggling because of salary. And they're incredible people, and it was incredible to talk to them. And I think it'll resonate with you all. But teacher pay is what we're discussing tonight. And then Wednesday, we will be discussing kind of some overarching state mandates, things that impact school systems and teachers. And then on Thursday, we're talking solutions.
And you can find all that reporting right now at KXAN.com. I just want to thank you both, Kelly and Christopher, again for joining me and for talking so much about this and for doing all that work, because it really is spectacular.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, if you'd like to read more and check out about what this investigation involves, you can go to our website. It's online right now at kxan.com. You can check out the interactive elements that they have worked on there. Look at those maps and graphs that they put in more in detail than we showed you here. And of course, that's at kxan.com/teachers-resign. Thank you all again for watching here this afternoon. I'm Will Dupree coming to you from the KXAN Live Studio. Hope you all stay safe and healthy out there. Take care. We'll see you again soon.